Today we are going to talk about why use professional photography. We all know that using professional photography can help you selling your house for a better price and even faster. These days, you know that photography is not just about a still photo, including 3D walkthrough, drone, twilight, and even HDR technology. Today, we have with us Austen. Hi, Austen.
Hello.
Austen is with Pic Tours, and he's going to go over why real estate agents should be using professional photography. So let's start with one simple question. Do you think real estate agents use professional photographers? And yes or no, and if not, why not?
Excellent question. So we have found in just talking to a lot of agents, a lot of other brokerages, that most agents typically don't use professional photography. It's usually about a 50-50 or 40-60 split, usually kind of in that range there. And when we ask most agents why they don't use professional photography, it's always about the money. It's always about the price. Right? And so most real estate agents just find it's too expensive, especially when we have a smartphone that we think can usually take good pictures for us.
Wow, that's a high number, 50%, because I believe as a consumer, because right now I am searching for a house and I can see the difference with like a professional picture and an amateur picture. And the other day I was looking at a house through the MLS and the picture was beautiful, and we went there just because of the picture, and you can totally see when it's a professional or not. Wow, so that number is pretty high. Let's go over some questions from our agent. Question number one, how much higher of a sales price should agent expect to sell their listing for when using professional photography vs non-professional photography?
So this is one of those invest in your own business type questions, right? We totally get it. At Pic Tours, we understand that most agents don't get paid until the very end of the deal. And so it's hard to fork out that money at the beginning, not knowing if you're even going to sell the house or maybe even for sure get the listing or whatever it is. And we know that a lot of times in order to sell the house, it takes a lot of luck, patience, and praying to make sure that it does sell and we get that money back that we invested. We've seen CBS News reports. We have some facts and statistics and things that CBS reported that 47% is the expected number that you should expect to sell higher per square foot. So the price you should expect is 47% higher per square foot, what you can expect to sell a home for when you use professional photography.
This is a high number. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to the commission at the end, it's a way better commission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just kind of having a little faith, I guess, to invest money in your business and see it pay off in the future.
Well, do you think it's because they don't also have the relationship with the photographer and they care about the quality of the picture or what they're doing?
Yeah, I think when we use a lot of different photographers, the biggest and most tedious process for a photographer is the editing. So you can go take a lot of pictures, but all photographers have their own different style, their own different take about how every photo should look, how the colors should look. And so that gives us inconsistency. And so at Pic Tours, we have one editing team that does all the photos. They do all the same to make sure that it all looks the same. We just found that produces the type of results that real estate agents like.
Okay, let's go with the next question. How many days sooner should agent expect to sell a listing when using professional photography vs non-professional?
Awesome. So Wall Street Journal reported that on average, a home on the market without professional photography sells in about 123 days. On average, this is a very big, broad number. We get that. There's some that close in a day. There's some that close 6 or 7, 8 months later. With that same report from the Wall Street Journal reported that in 89 days, a home sold with professional photography. So that's 34 days faster. But what does that mean? That means one less mortgage payment, right? Imagine if you're trying to win over the listing and you're talking to the sellers and you're saying, look, I'm going to use great professional photography. We're going to be able to sell the home faster. to make sure you're not making extra mortgage payments on this home, right? And so that's kind of the idea, is you can sell the home about 34 days faster.
Now, how does 3D walkthrough tour differ from a panoramic or virtual tour, and how does it save agents and clients time?
Good question. So panoramic pictures have been around for a long time. I remember when I was in middle school, and my smartphone came out and had the option to take a panoramic shot. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And YouTube videos, or videos, have been used a lot before as well in the real estate world. The problem with these forms of media is that it's very controlled, and the viewer doesn't have a lot of power to see a home. When you're shooting a video, you can only see what the video is showing you, right? And so that's limiting and restrictive that way, as opposed to the 3D Matterport technology that's been around for a couple of years now. We take a bunch of scans of the home, and then Matterport is the company. They stitch them all together, and it creates this 3D walkthrough experience. So on the screen, you can literally take your mouse and you can look up and down, left and right, almost like Google Street View inside the home. This gives us so much power, because then you can see what you want to see. You can see how far things are apart, and on top of that, I'm sure we can all relate to, how many times have you gotten calls, hey, I have some buyers that want to come check out the house. They come look at the house and they don't buy it. That just wastes what we think is buyers' time. That wastes sellers' time, because oftentimes they have to leave the home. That wastes agents' time for people not buying the home. So the Matterport helps qualify prospects. And so it helps show, maybe you show less listings or less viewings, but because the prospects are more qualified and they've actually seen the home in such great detail with the 3D Matterport, that they're actually more inclined to see it, and they're just more qualified to make a decision faster.
So that's another thing to think about when you hire your professional photographer. You want to make sure he's able to do the 3D walkthrough. What about the drone? You need a special license for that, correct?
Yeah, you usually have to, especially when you're flying real up high, or especially if there's some special licensing. So it's always important to make sure that you hire a drone photographer, to make sure that everything's in place, make sure it's all legal. So,
what do you think is the one that is the consumer is attracted by the most? Is it the drone? Is it the 3D walkthrough? Is it the twilight? Which one do you think the consumer prefer?
That's a good
more
question.
Attracted to?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think it kind of depends on the characteristics of the home. And how I mean by that is, if the home is very spacious, has lots of beautiful architecture. I just think of one in particular that we have done in Colorado, and it had some really cool rafters up in the ceiling. It was a multi-million-dollar house, and you're just able to get a good view of the home. So I think that attracts it a lot. But if the home is sitting on a golf course, for instance, that's really nice to have the drone, right? Because you can fly up real high, you can see from the sides, you can get a good view of the home. Maybe it's a beachfront property as well, you can get a good idea there. What I find twilight is best for is when people have really cool backyards, and you have the beautiful pool and all the beautiful lights inside, or a basketball court, or a patio, whatever it is, and we're able to capture those beautiful skies with the background and setting of the beautiful backyard. It's just easy to, as a buyer, to picture yourself there. The beautiful backyard, the beautiful sky. Yeah, so I think it just depends upon the characteristics of the home. And that's partially my job too, is why I love to do sales and marketing, is because I can connect those dots to help sellers understand, this is what, like, these are the features of your home that you want to sell. So capture them so you can gravitate the right buyers.
I think too, it's also before having the listing, like when you go see your sellers and you do your listing presentation, and you can tell your client, hey, look what I can do for you. I have a partnership with a photographer that can do drone, and show them what is, give them a sample of a drone exposure and a 3D walkthrough. I mean, I know the first time I went to Inman News and I did the Matterport, and I had the glasses on, I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's just great. So just walking to a listing presentation and let them know that this is the type of things you can do for your client is so powerful.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. So let's go over the last question we had today. what should an agent expect to pay for professional photography in their local market?
Awesome. So, of course, this is very variant. Depending upon what state you live in, this can always vary. So what we have found is, of course, California seems to be a little more expensive than other places,
Yes,
naturally. And so when we, just running some California market numbers, we have found that most agents expect to pay about $150 to $200. That's starting. So that would be a basic 15, 20 photo package. And of course, it climbs from there. Still photos. Okay. We find that most agents expect drone photography to be anywhere from 200 to 250 range starting, and then the Matterports are usually a little more expensive, again, because it's the cool technology you can see in the virtual reality and on the screen. And agents expect anywhere from about $300 to $400 those prices. And some of the other states are probably a little less expensive than California. You could probably expect a decrease naturally on those prices. But I would also encourage as well, go to quickpictours.com and you'll see our pricing compares to those that we've kind of listed.
So Quick Pic Tours, where are you located?
Awesome. So
and tell us a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so Quick Pic Tours, our corporate offices in Salt Lake City, Utah. Our company was born almost out of necessity. Is that we understood that we needed photography done from some of our homes. Our owners are brokers as well. And so they know the necessity of having good photography. And so we service Utah, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, California, and Tennessee as well.
Wow, 6 states already. Mm-hmm. And soon Florida.
Soon Florida.
Not yet.
We promised.
Soon in Florida. In the post, you'll see we did put Austen's information, also the website of Quick Pic Tours, so you can take a look at it. They are in 6 different states. And when it comes to California, they are in San Diego and all the way up north to Fresno, Sacramento, the Bay Area. Yes, so they have photographers all over California. So check them out. Thank you, Austen, for being here today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Awesome.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.